What is your American dream?
My American dream is to spread love all over the world.
My American dream is to live in a safe world.
American dream is to come here to work because I love this country.
My American dream is to play one day in the NBA.
Out here in America, dreaming every day with my friends over there, and we just trying to say, hey.
My American dream is good life.
My American dream is the life I'm living right now.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Well, hello there. My name is Brad Bernstein, and joining me on Brad's Show Live is Jonathan, Yo-Yo Elias, and Vanessa Nesquik Contreras, back from her
assignment.
Yes.
Yes. Back from assignment.
But we're here.
You are here. How's everybody doing today?
Great.
I hope, Yo-Yo, you have an umbrella for after the show. It looks
don't.
like rain here in New York.
I don't. And it's a flash flood.
And it's sad. It's very, very sad because your hair is looking really,
I just cut
like
it
extra.
too,
Your hair's looking extra good today, and it'll be totally ruined in 2 hours. What a sad day for Yo-Yo. How's it going down there in Miami, Vanessa?
I'm gonna need an umbrella too. It's been drizzling down
gosh.
here today, so
All
we're
right.
on the same boat.
All right.
But we're all getting started with good things in the comments just because I'm on YouTube already, and this is a big one coming from Bobby Young. He's saying, "Squad up! I'm a citizen now as of the 17th of September. Thanks to you, Brad, for all."
All right, congratulations.
Nice.
All right, that was good starting there.
Yeah.
I always say Yo-Yo and Vanessa, they are scouring the comments. All right, they are scouring all the time.
Yes.
So please leave your comments, your questions, your issues, your problems. We will get to them later for sure. Let's say hello to the squad. Asila Enot, squad up. Dip Fab, Cake Affairs, squad up. How are you? Joy Titus. And Cynthia Wallace, Rosie Joy, we see you watching. Tanya Tafe is watching as well. And Karen Richard saying happy Thursday. So is Tigo Goodaz. And Tia Dion saying good evening, Brad and the squad. Carol the Tiger. Jessica Leamy Davis. And I said Asila Enot. Share. Pepe Samuel. And let's see what's going on YouTube. Asila Enot's double fisting. Vanessa Contreras in the comments. Squad up, Vanessa. Bobby Young, we already said congratulations. Susie Q, Kevar, Harris, and Bedtime. Oh, that's not Bedtime. I can't read. Benadryl Zamori saying hello. I thought it was Bedtime Zamori. I said, boy, he's ready for sleep already. I said the show's just started. But it's not bedtime, it's Benadryl. And Cordella Douglas.
Wow,
Cordella in the comments. I hope she's feeling well. And Jonathan and Vanessa, why don't you guys take it away?
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. It's time to start sharing because we're going to be schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the new developments regarding the Haitian migrant situation at Del Rio, Texas, sector of the U.S.-Mexican border.
And it's Wacky World Thursday, squad, so hang on to your seats as we span the globe, where we will definitely visit Paris, France, to learn about a breathtaking stunt performed in the City of Light last weekend.
And of course, you can call right now to get your immigration questions asked, and asked by you, answered by me. 1-800-529-5465 international. It's 212-227-8933. As always, we do have a few lines still open at the beginning of the show, but I can tell you by the time I'm done with schmoozing, the lines are locked. So if you want to get your immigration question asked by yourself and answered by me, call right now. 1-800-529-5465 international. 212-227 8933. It is also the telephone number to Starr and Bernstein. If I said the number way too fast, it is scrolling at the bottom of your screen for the entire show. Everyone always asks, how do we reach you, Brad? Just read the scroll at the bottom. It's going to scroll there for 2 straight hours. It's the same telephone number to call Starr and Bernstein as it is to get on our show. And after we schmooze and after I answer your immigration questions, as we said earlier, Vanessa and Jonathan, they are scouring the comments for your issues, problems, and concerns, and we will address them all in our social media check-in. And then later in the show, it's on, like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
All right, squad versus crew rematch between show fan Tameka Hewitt, a.k.a. Starr-Girl Meeka, and crew member Lee Manor in a game of Who Invented It, American Born or Immigrant.
Fun
Right
times.
now, the squad beating the crew.
Uh-oh.
Squad beating crew 7-5 with 1 tie. So we'll see if the crew redeems themselves today or if the squad's going to take a huge, huge lead. Not that we're keeping score, but nobody wants to come in second.
Listen, hey, I actually want to play. So if a squad member is trying to, play against me, let us know in the comments or DM us.
I'm going to tell you something. Yo-Yo has never lost these games.
Listen, I'm very competitive.
When Yo-Yo and I used to do it, he would beat me every time. I'm like, damn, he's the
and
best.
no cheating.
And by the way, he is the best guesser in the world. Because half the time he has no idea, but he guesses and he always gets it right.
This is true.
Olympics. It's like the Brad Olympics.
It is the Brad Olympics. That's great. I like that, Brad Olympics.
That's hilarious.
When we get to that later, it was a good round.
I like that one. That could be the best line of the week, the Brad Olympics.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Let's go to schmoozing. Let's see what's going on in the world. Excuse me again. Let me clear my throat.
Let me clear
my throat. So, we're still waiting on the parliamentarian. No news, they say, is good news, I guess, or not necessarily. We don't know yet. We are waiting on her ruling on Plan B. Plan B is to change the registry date, to update the date for 245I adjustment that allows you to pay the penalty fee. If the parliamentarian rules yes, those 2 rules and possibly more that we don't know about will be put into the budget reconciliation deal that looks like it is coming together this afternoon. The Democrats, both on the progressive side and on the moderate side, they have been saying very positive things. They feel that they are getting closer to getting a deal. Again, on my birthday, Monday, September 27th, they want to vote on this. We are still waiting on the parliamentarian to see if the immigration will get into the vote on Monday, September 27th. Maybe Tuesday, September 28th, they will have a vote, but it's going to be shortly, probably early next week. What's interesting, which we didn't mention over the last few days about the parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough. Do you know what she did? What did Elizabeth McDonough do before she was the parliamentarian in the Senate? Very interesting and ironic at the same time.
If it's ironic, then she must have been an immigration lawyer.
She was an immigration lawyer. Ex-immigration lawyer plays key role in immigration reform. Very ironic, isn't it?
So you would think that she would be super down.
Not necessarily, because you could be an immigration lawyer for the immigrants or against the immigrants. And
we don't know if she was
in this particular case, she was a trial attorney for the U.S. Justice Department handling immigration cases. The trial attorney is the district attorney. They're the prosecutors.
So she was a prosecutor.
She was a prosecutor in immigration court, and she was basically a law enforcement immigration attorney.
Okay.
She also clerked for a Reagan judge, a Ronald Reagan-appointed judge by the name of Royce Lambert. Now, as the parliamentarian to the Senate, she ruled against the inclusion of a minimum wage increase in Biden's COVID-19 legislation in February, a decision also that was a huge disappointment for the White House. She advised against incorporating amnesty just last week for almost 8 million undocumented people and essential workers in the budget reconciliation. As we said, her ruling was because the amnesty that they were including in the budget reconciliation was brand new laws. And she said, you are not changing an existing law to increase budget revenue. What you are doing is you are adding new laws. And by the way, yes, it may raise income for the budget, but that's ancillary to you making a new law. That's why the Democrats went back with Plan B. They're amending existing laws. They're amending the registry date, which is an old form of amnesty. That registry date is right now January 1st, 1972. They want to bring it into the 21st century. We don't know the exact date. As we said yesterday, could be January 1st, 2010, January 1st, 2015, January 1st, 2020, or some date in March of 2021 when we all went under quarantine for the pandemic. It could be any of those dates. And if you were undocumented, never obtained a green card before, and you were physically present on that date and remained in the U.S. through the time, you file an application for adjustment of status, because that's as easy as it is. You file adjustment, prove you've been in the United States for that period of time, you get a green card. Easy peasy.
There you go.
Much easier than essential worker amnesty. I like it.
Yes.
Okay, as long as they pick a good date.
Right.
And then for those people who may not be eligible for the amnesty, they are also amending the 245I, which allows people to get sponsored in jobs, people to get sponsored by their family members, even if they overstayed on their visa, even if they entered without inspection, pay a penalty fee and adjust their status here as well. So that can cover a lot of people as well. As William Shakespeare said in The Merchant of Venice, Vanessa, we are all waiting here on bated breath.
Yes.
To see what will happen. But what is ironic about all of this is this parliamentarian, she knows immigration.
She knows it.
She knows it. She understands it.
No, when you mentioned the irony, I'm like, oh, this is a fact that might work in our favor. We didn't know, and then it's like,
and until you find out that she's a prosecutor.
Just because we're the good guys doesn't mean they're all the good guys.
Right. Correct. So let's see what happens there. Meanwhile, we showed video and pictures yesterday of Department of Homeland Security personnel and DHS and ICE officers on horseback using reins as whips against Haitians, trying to keep them back from crossing over the border. They are on the Mexican side of at the Del Rio Bridge, Texas border. They are in encampments, but it's not really encampments. They are living in squalor, literally in squalor, without food, sanitation, medicine, without any sort of plumbing to even use a bathroom, a toilet, a sink. They're just there in living in garbage on top of garbage. It's one of the worst conditions I've ever seen at the border. And today, after those videos came out of ICE officers using reins almost as whips, it almost looked like it was plantation time.
Literally, the only thing they're missing are cotton fields.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looked like.
So the Department of Homeland Security has said that they will now cease the use of horse patrol in the Del Rio River area. We are going to prioritize other methods temporarily. They may bring back horses at some point. We'll prioritize other methods for identifying individuals who might be in medical distress. Those were not medical distress. That was crowd control using horses with whips.
Absolutely.
That had nothing to do with medical distress. Now, the department has been closely following the movement of migrants through the hemisphere and working with law enforcement partners in transit countries. Biden is flying many of them back to Haiti. He is not allowing many to enter the United States, and the few that are would have to pass a credible fear interview and apply for asylum. Daniel Foote, the U.S. Special Envoy for Haiti, he has resigned because of what is going on at the border within the Del Rio River, Texas border in Mexico, because he says he will not be associated, I'm quoting him, he will not be associated with the United States' inhumane, counterproductive decision to deport thousands of Haitian refugees from the U.S.-Mexico border. They are taking Haitians who are escaping dreadful, dreadful conditions and returning them to dreadful conditions.
Yeah.
Okay? So all you are doing is now adding additional stress to Haiti between COVID, the almost overthrow of the prime minister, armed gangs, they still reeling from hurricanes. So the State Department spokesperson Ned Price said Wednesday that Daniel Foote has both resigned and mischaracterized the circumstances of his resignation. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said today that Daniel Foote never once raised concerns about the migration. 12 repatriation flights have left the United States. 1,401 Haitians have been returned to Haiti, and there are now less than 5,000 near the border.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. There was, but by the way, we didn't even talk about the earthquakes in Haiti.
Right.
It just goes on and on and on. And I don't know what the solution to Haiti is. I wish I knew. I don't have it. I don't know, but I know the solution is not return people to dreadful,
to where they're trying to run away from
dreadful situations. Meanwhile, you've been following Vanessa, Gabby Petito. It's almost impossible not to follow what's going on. Young couple went on a cross country with Brian Laundrie. The boyfriend went on a cross country trip. They were on social media regularly, documenting their trip.
Sketch.
And then all of a sudden, Brian Laundrie drives home from a Wyoming Teton National Forest with no Gabby, no girlfriend, and shows up at his home in Florida as if nothing happened.
That's so weird.
It's yeah. So then Gabby Petito was pronounced missing. The news took hold of this. They said young white woman missing, blonde hair, blue eyes. It was all over the news. And Brian Laundrie was the initial suspect. They eventually found Gabby yesterday, and they did an autopsy. Sunday, they did an autopsy, and it was determined that she was murdered. Brian Laundrie, who was in his home in Florida, the FBI has him as the number one suspect. Bizarre that nobody in the FBI or the police is watching this home. He leaves the home. Nobody sees him leave the home, drives away, and is now missing. They are searching for him all over. They say that he is capable of living in the woods, in the forest, and being able to survive on his own. There has been a history of Gabby and Brian fighting, screaming, yelling. Even the police were called once on this trip, and anecdotally, People, neighbors, friends have said that Brian was more of a loner and had a extraordinarily bad temper. Gabby always tried to protect him from, being around other people because of, I guess, his idiosyncrasies or anger or temper or whatever it was that he had. But now that Gabby has been pronounced murdered, it's a homicide investigation. The FBI and the police have let Brian Laundrie disappear. Nobody knows where he is. There's a manhunt for him, and there is a warrant out for his arrest. Now, after Petito's family had reported her missing, authorities said Laundrie and his family declined to discuss the case. And then on Friday, family members said Laundrie had gone hiking 3 days earlier and just never returned, and nobody's watching this guy. That's where we're at. Now, dozens of law enforcement officers have been searching nearby reserves. Former America's Most Wanted host John Walsh is questioning whether Brian Laundrie was really hiding out in his family home, suggesting it was a ruse to help him get far away. So this guy says he never left. Maybe he's in the basement for all they know. But I assume the FBI now has a warrant and has gone into the home and has searched the home, and I assume he's not there. There was a lot of news reports that the Laundrie family were not cooperating with the police, that they were told by their attorney not to talk, not to say anything, and it was extraordinarily hurtful to the Petito family because Brian and Gabby were in a relationship for a very long time, and the families
engaged,
and they knew each other. The families. They have socialized together, these families, and unfortunately, the Laundrie family was, I guess, in terms of the Petito family, following the advice of their lawyers, not to talk. Which, by the way, is the proper
protocol.
That's the proper advice,
right?
Because there's nothing you're going to say that's going to exculpate you, unless of course, yeah, I mean, you have a rock solid alibi. I was not in the Grand Teton, Wyoming forest with Gabby. I was in Disneyland at the time. But
and they can't say that.
They can't say that because he was on Instagram with her.
Everything is documented.
Right.
It was on stories. There's probably reels. There's a post.
Exactly.
And the crazy thing is, like, a lot of their followers now are. I think she might have even hit 1 million followers now on Instagram, and a lot of the followers are looking back at timing. So, like, they're looking at around the time, because they literally documented everything. So they're saying the day or the timing where she probably was murdered. They're noticing that pictures on his page are more so like propped up. The phone is propped up, so they're looking like it's from the bottom up. So like you have the followers now that are trying
they're starting to sleuth a little bit. Starting to sleuth a little bit.
So this is huge.
It is huge. It's been all over the news. And listen, we don't know who did it.
We don't.
But I will tell you this: if Brian Laundrie didn't do it, who the hell did?
Right.
There's only one.
Why is he running?
I can't imagine that there's another suspect right now. If they were fighting, he was with her.
All of this is documented.
All this is documented.
She was crying when the police was there.
If he didn't kill her, who did?
Right.
Vanessa, who killed Gabby Petito if Brian Laundrie didn't do it?
I've watched a lot of cold case files. I've watched a lot of Law and Order.
Yes.
I think this all leads in one direction.
Yeah, that's right.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention define intimate partner violence as abuse or aggression that occurs in a romantic relationship. Intimate partner refers to both current and former spouses. IVP can include any of the following types of behavior: physical violence, sexual violence, stalking, psychological aggression. IPV affects millions of people in the United States each year. About 1 in 4 women and nearly 1 in 10 men have experienced contact, sexual violence, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner during their lifetime. Over 43 million women, 38 million men have experienced psychological aggression by an intimate partner, which is why you see so many VAWA cases these days, unfortunately. Now, if you or someone you love is in an intimate party violence situation, we urge you to call the domestic violence hotline at 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. But, there's another interesting angle, about all of this, and it's not just, we're all very sad about Gabby, and the family, needs answers, obviously. But, and it's absolutely tragic. But on Monday night, MSNBC host Joy Reid invited Lynette Gray Bull and Derica Wilson on her show. The show's called The Readout on MSNBC, and the guests are advocates for missing indigenous black women and children. And they argued that the media's attention of Petito's disappearance was sorely lacking when it came to the hundreds of disappearances that don't involve white women.
Yep.
Now, Reid pointed out that the PBS anchor Gwen Ifill, the journalist who broke barriers as a black woman in the Washington press corps, coined the term 2 decades ago, missing white women syndrome. It appears every time there is a sensationalized, media-frenzied missing woman, she's always white, blonde, blue eyes. Vanessa, Jonathan.
True. This is very true.
Now, the coverage of Miss Petito's disappearance in August, the discovery of her remains, and the search of her missing fiancé is still ongoing. The disappearances of people of color tend not to generate the same volume of media interest. A report from the University of Wyoming found that 710 indigenous people were reported missing from 2011 to 2020 in that state, which is where Petito's remains were found. So 710 indigenous women missing in Wyoming. Haven't heard anything about them. Haven't seen any news about it. We hear the news about Gabby Petito. Again,
it's
tragic,
very tragic. Very.
But again, also, we want to see everybody.
Yeah.
We want to see the same empathy. What's missing by at least certainly the news media and perhaps even the American public is empathy. Mm-hmm. Empathy for missing women who are not white, blonde, blue eyes. Because everybody's empathizing with the Petito family. What a horrible thing that's going on.
We all are.
Okay? And we all are. Whether you're black, white, yellow, green, blue, orange, doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But really, the missing white syndrome, what do they call it?
White woman syndrome.
White woman syndrome. Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to empathy. People don't have the same amount of empathy if you're dark-skinned and missing versus if you are white-skinned, especially white, blue-eyed, blonde.
And that's very scary because, you see how many cases there are where they were missing women of color, and, you could, if they actually had the help, they could have possibly got saved, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some of them could have got saved, and you just don't know. And it's really scary. It's really scary.
I remember you go ahead, Vanessa.
I had just I think it all kind of depends on where you're getting your resources, because to be honest, I found out about Gabby's story because I bumped into a page about the indigenous women, and I started reading about the indigenous women that had gone missing, and that led to them raising the awareness on that, and then is when I tapped into Gabby's story.
Yeah.
So it went backwards.
On Monday, Ada Navarro, she's a political commentator on CNN, a weekly guest host of ABC's The View. She had commented on Twitter that while she was glad the case of Petito was getting a lot of attention, I just want there to be some interest and energy, Ray, every disappeared young woman in America, brown, black, Native American, transgender. It's just...
We're all human. Deserve the same treatment.
There seems to be a lack of... I don't know why. I mean, you want to say it's racism. You want to say it's the it's not overt racism. It's that underlying, where you can't express it, but you feel an empathy for one group and not another. It's that underlying, unsaid, racist tendency that everybody has, including me.
Right.
I can't say I'm a perfect person, but I think that's really what it comes down to. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm not a psychologist.
I mean, to me, like I said, I got my major or my master's in mass communication and media studies, and to me, it's just a lot of it lies in the media's hand, because we won't know about certain things unless the media does cover this. So once we find out about it, we can throw it on our own personal social medias where we can raise the awareness. But if we don't know about the story in the first place, where we would get that information from the media, we can't do it. So the media really has a big thing on what we know and like what they want us to know.
Meanwhile, Mary Johnson, she's known as Mary Davis, she was last seen on November 25th, 2020. And she is a member of the Tulalip tribe. She was 39 years old. She was walking on a road in Western Washington en route to her home in a nearby town, and she never made it there. More than 10 months since Johnson was reported missing. A billboard on Interstate 5 and local media coverage have yielded few credible tips. Tribal police have yet to make an arrest in the case. The FBI has announced a reward of $10,000 for any information regarding the disappearance of Mary Johnson, known as Mary Davis, but we don't see that on the news.
At all.
Okay? We don't see that in the media. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for Gabby Petito, and if it wasn't for people bringing up the fact that, hey, what about black, brown, and dark-skinned women, we would never even be talking about Mary Johnson, Mary Davis, because we would never have heard of her.
That's what I'm saying.
After authorities announced on Sunday that they may have found the remains of Gabby Petito in Wyoming, a viral tweet reminded the public to keep 24-year-old Daniel Robinson in mind, a geologist who went missing in the desert just outside of Buckeye, Arizona, 2 months ago. A petition made by the Robinson family was created 2 weeks ago with the intention of holding accountable the Buckeye Police Department, the investigative agency on the case. 8,000 signatures were garnered by Monday. In it, his father, David Robinson, stated he has done more to find his son than the law enforcement agency since Daniel went missing. More than that, David Robinson wants the police to criminally investigate the son's disappearance due to findings from his own private investigator, including allegations that Daniel's Jeep was driven after crashing and the crash site was staged.
Wow.
Robinson was last seen on the morning of June 23rd driving near Sun Valley Parkway and Cactus Road in his 2017 blue Jeep Renegade. He did not tell anyone where he was going or why he was leaving, and he has never been heard from. Police conducted searches by air and land, pulled phone records, checked hospitals for Robinson to no avail. Since then, the Buckeye Police Department has worked with outside agencies to search more than 70 square miles. A landowner found Robinson's significantly damaged Jeep on July 19th, 4 miles southwest of the site where Robinson was last seen. The vehicle was discovered in a ravine, crashed. Police confirmed on Monday that given the state of Robinson's vehicle, foul play is not suspected, which is why his case is not a criminal investigation. He stands at 5'8". He has black hair, brown eyes, and there is a GoFundMe page that has now raised over $40,000 for information as to the whereabouts of Mr. Robinson.
Not a criminal case. Does that escalate, it being a criminal case or not, escalate to a missing person?
It's certainly a missing person.
Right.
And if the vehicle crashed and there's no body in the vehicle, that's extraordinarily strange. Where's the body? If you crashed a vehicle and killed yourself in a crash,
Where's the body?
Where's the body? Why is there no body there? Why is there no blood?
Yeah.
But how is foul play not, suspected when they actually said like they felt like, or it looked like that scene was, created?
Well, if Gabby Petito was a black woman, perhaps foul play would not have been suspected either, and nobody would have been searching for her.
That's true.
She just would have been another missing person. That's the point we're all trying to make here. One group seems to get a lot more attention than other groups. And there's a lack of empathy going around. To other trifling news, COVID. Of course, we always have to talk about it. Our friends at the Johns Hopkins University, they claim 42.5 million confirmed coronavirus cases, more than 681,000 deaths. Yesterday, the Food and Drug Administration authorized booster doses of the Pfizer vaccine for people 65 and older. We are still waiting. People who are also immunocompromised, who took the Pfizer, people who are in high-risk jobs, such as healthcare workers, teachers, daycare staff, grocery workers, homeless shelters, prisons, and others should also take the booster. There's $2 million questions right now. What the heck's a high-risk job? Isn't everybody in a high-risk job at some point? You go to an office, you go to the subway. Who's not in a high-risk job?
I mean, there are some that are.
I don't know. I mean, if you're in an office setting and you have lots of people in your office, are you not in a high-risk job?
Yeah, but
you have
like bus drivers who are, I think, in a little bit more.
I don't know. They don't say who's high risk and who's not. That bothers me a little bit.
They should say that, though.
They just say if you're a high risk job.
Like,
okay.
How are we supposed to know?
Right.
That I do understand.
And two, what about Moderna? And what about Johnson & Johnson?
Right.
What should people be doing with that?
I'm a Moderna poppy.
By the way, anecdotally, Moderna.
I need to know.
Moderna supposedly has a longer lasting, according to the scientific studies that are coming out. Moderna is outperforming the Pfizer. Yes.
Say it ain't so, because Pfizer been talking a lot of crap to us Moderna poppies and mommies.
That's what it is at the moment.
Wow.
But of course, it always changes. All right.
Let's get wacky.
Let's get wacky and have some fun here.
Please.
All right, we have some wacky news. We're going to start. We're going to fly over to Paris, Vanessa. Last weekend, Frenchman Nathan Paulin, he walked a 600-meter slack line from the Eiffel Tower to the Chalet Theater on the other side of the Seine River.
What?
Yes, in a trip that took the 27-year-old about a half an hour. Do you know the difference between a slack line and a tightrope? Because this was not a tightrope. This was a slack line. Do you know the difference?
No.
A slack line has slack in it.
Oh, hell no.
So it's
harder.
It's much harder. So it's almost curved down.
Because tightrope is tight.
Tightrope is tight. A slack rope has a lot more give. You know, a tightrope is just you're walking on a sidewalk. Yeah, you're walking on something tight. You know, that's not bouncing up and down.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think that made for that profession.
I'm good either way. I don't want it. I'm afraid of heights, so.
I'm going to tell you something. Sometimes when I'm on a boat, I think I'm falling off the boat. Let alone on a slack or a tightrope.
Yeah.
I could trade 100 years, and I would have taken a dive right into the river.
Yeah. That's wild.
That's wild, isn't it? So this is the second time he did it. He set the world record for the longest urban highline walk.
Look at him, chilling.
Yeah, and he just he's lying down on this thing.
My boy is laid out like he is on a hammock.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he holds several world records. His longest walk so far is 1,662-meter high line, suspended at a height of 300 meters at Cirque de Navicelles, a landform in the massive Central Mountain Range in southern France. I'm going to tell you, there's got to be better ways to make a living, Vanessa. than walking slack lines.
Yeah, I choose other things in this life.
Right. It ain't my journey.
Yeah, all right. All right, so you want 2 million followers on Instagram?
Oh, depends on what I got to do.
Let me tell you how to get 2 million followers on Instagram. Follow what Sheila Rose Marchiori does in Brazil. She racked up 2 million followers on Instagram documenting her exploits as a Brazilian lorry driver, transporting fruits and vegetables across the country in a bright pink truck. The 30-year-old who goes by Sheila Belivar on social media says her lifelong dream has been to inspire other women to drive a truck. She told Wire Service Newsflash that her custom hot pink truck represents me, the milestone of a winning woman who came from nowhere, from the countryside, and today has her own things. Yes, it is marketing. Being a lady trucker influencer has helped Marchiori further profit off of her stereotype-breaking image. And today she makes more money maintaining her YouTube channel and other platforms than she does actually trucking vegetables. Vanessa, do you want to get a bright pink truck and start trucking vegetables around Florida?
I mean, Nesquik could actually, I think you out of us three would be the closest one to be able to get this, because I don't think I would look that good in a two-piece type. Brad, you might, but Nesquik, I think you'll look a lot better.
I take on the challenge, boys.
Yeah.
Have no fear.
All right. All right, so we're going to get Vanessa a bright pink truck, and every day we'll ask her where she is.
I mean, she's a social media queen, so you're content creator queen. You should know. I think you could do this.
I'll figure it out.
Meanwhile, going to Japan, there's always some weird stuff going on in Japan. A man was recently arrested for stealing a staggering 730 bras and panties from a laundromat. Tsuto Orado, 56, he was arrested last week after police found a huge stash of panties and bras in his apartment in the southern Japanese city of Beppu. Cops were first alerted to this troubling case when a 21-year-old college student spotted Urata allegedly stealing 6 of her pairs of underwear.
I can't.
Officers discovered the rest of Urata's stolen haul when they tracked him down a week later. We have not confiscated such a large number of panties in years. You mean this is more than one person doing this?
Oh my God, look at that.
I always wondered what happened to my socks in the laundry. Maybe it was this guy. I always go with 10 pairs, 10 pairs of socks.
Okay, and leave with
and I come back with 8. I'm always buying new socks.
Leave alone, leave with 8. I leave with mismatching pairs.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I think I now know what happened to my missing socks.
You never know.
Well, we have one culprit.
I can tell. I do my laundry once every 10 days, and I'm like, what happened to all my socks? My socks are always missing.
I mean,
somebody's after men's socks.
I mean, there's fetishes for all.
And finally, heading over to Buenos Aires, Argentina. We are really spanning the world today.
We're really using that plane today.
The world's largest rodents have returned, and they are pooping in the wealthiest part of Buenos Aires. Considered the world's largest rodents, they are capybaras. They are native. They are native to Argentina, but the problem is right now they have migrated to the wealthiest section of Buenos Aires.
Is that Arthur?
And they are pooping all over these people's lawns.
Y'all know the cartoon Arthur? Is that what he is? Because it looked like it.
Now this all started when developers cleared 3,000 acres of critical wetlands on the banks of the Parana River to create a ultra-wealthy community of multi-million-dollar homes. However, the capybaras were not too happy about losing their cover in the wetlands, and now they never left their homes. They're just living in these wealthy people's community and pooping everywhere. It's a big problem for them. It's a big problem for them.
You said what?
But they're like giant hamsters.
Yeah, they're
I'm very disturbed.
yeah they're.
It's
big.
like it's almost like you would like fly to Jurassic Park and like see like some weird animal that you've never
I've
seen
never
before,
seen
right?
that before.
Yeah. Now, despite the fact that the large rodents, which can be 4 feet long and weigh 175 pounds, it's like a yo-yo walking around, right?
What?
You're 175 pounds.
No, I'm not. You're 205.
You're 205. It's like a mini yo-yo walking around.
I wish I was 175.
Enrique Vialli, Argentine environmental lawyer, in a statement to the Guardian newspaper said, it's the other way around. Nordelta invaded the ecosystem of the Carpinchos. So basically people are saying that these capybaras are invading their multi-million-dollar homes, but really they cleared the land and they made these homes. So it was basically the people, the rich people,
Right, that's their
who
home.
invaded the capybaras' homes. But it's a big problem there in Argentina. Big problem there. All right, we don't have those problems in Miami and New York, though, right?
No. Actually, in New York, we definitely do, because I've seen rats that big as well.
I've never seen rats that are 175 pounds.
All rats look like that to me.
I've seen some big ones, but not that big.
All rats look like that to me.
Yo-yo scared of birds and rats, apparently.
Down.
If you saw a 175-pound rat, what would you do, Yo-Yo?
The same thing I do when I see a rat right in front of me.
You
Run.
You run.
Run. You might get a little belch out of me, a little yell.
All right, we got to get to our education, where I am the only fully clothed human being on the entire site now, OnlyFans, where we have all our educations. In today's education, I talk about when the police have the authority to search your car. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. This notion of probable cause comes from the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. It is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. Do the cops have a right to search your car or truck if you get pulled over? If a police officer pulls you over or approaches your vehicle, provide the paperwork they ask for. But if they ask to search your vehicle, whether you have something to hide or not, your answer should always be no. No, you cannot search my vehicle. Your right is that the police cannot search your vehicle. You may notice that the police sometimes, when they stop your vehicle, look through the windows. It's because they're only allowed to search your car if they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed based on what they see in plain sight. So if you have nothing in plain sight in your car, nothing on your dashboard, nothing in your lap, nothing in your console, and they go and open your car door and start searching your car, or they go and open and search in your trunk, whatever they find would not be admissible in court because it was an illegal search, and the case against you would be thrown out of court. All right, and of course you can get all of the legal advice in one section on OnlyFans by following Brad Show Live on OnlyFans. Or you can call us right now at 1-800-529-5465 and have your immigration question answered. We're getting to our meat and potatoes now. All right, let's go to Raj in Clayton, North Carolina. Raj.
Hey, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I am in the United States in F1 student visa currently and in the stamp OPT.
Okay.
So my question is that my parents have a green card, and if they would like to file my green card petition under F2B visa category, then it will be impact in my upcoming, like in March H1B application. H1B application
No, it would not. It could affect a student visa application, but it would not affect an H-1B. And this is the reason why. When your parents file for your green card, you're showing an immigrant intent. If you go to extend your student visa status, that has a non-immigrant intent that says at the end of the case you intend to go home. So that's not completely in sync with I'm applying for my green card. Now, an H-1B visa is completely different. An H-1B visa has dual intent, a non-immigrant intent and an immigrant intent. So you could both have the intent of I will return home at the end of my work visa and say I'd like to also get a green card and have my parents file for me. So when you are changing status to a dual intent visa, that is not a problem, and you'll be okay. Let your parents file for you.
Okay, sure. And the one more question is, after the petition will be approved, then if I inside the United States, I can do like adjustment of status? Or
the answer, not at the beginning, because there's a waiting list and a priority date, but maybe in 4 or 5 years, probably would be faster than doing an employment-based petition because you're from India. But, again, the laws may change as well. But, yeah, it'll be a couple of years before you're eligible to adjust.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. Good luck. All right, let's go to Noreen in Framingham, Massachusetts. Noreen.
Hey, hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you? Good.
Brad, I have a couple of questions, very good questions. But then, definitely, if I'm convinced, I would be your client because I've been doing lots of research and seeing how attorneys answer my questions. Based on that, I thought
there's a lot of pressure on me now.
Really, yeah.
All right, because he's going to be watching how I answer.
Yeah.
Let's hope I do a good job. What's your question?
Yeah. Now, let me tell you, I was married in the year 2007, December, and then I got married to a citizen, and then I got divorced in 2010, December. That means 3 years I was there with her.
Okay.
I got my 2 years conditional green card, and we got divorced, and then I had to apply on my own to remove the conditions.
Okay.
I hired an attorney at New York, and then he did a very good job.
Okay.
And I got my 10-year green card.
Sounds like you're okay so far.
Yeah. What I did was, when I applied to remove the conditions, I gave all my photos, all my emails, every evidence that I had that it was a bona fide marriage. I gave it everything. I gave everything to that attorney, and now I don't have anything. Now the real story starts. I had a DUI.
A DUI?
Yeah.
Okay. When was
2008,
okay.
2010, 2 DUIs.
Okay.
Once in Arizona, I was arrested, and then I was put in jail for 2 days.
Okay.
2 days. They asked me to choose the 2 days. I took 2 consecutive Saturdays, and then I was there in the jail.
Okay.
That was back in 2008.
Okay.
And in 2010, I had one more DUI at Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There, I was asked to do a community service. I cleaned the park.
Fine. So you got your green card. You removed the conditions. You gave all your documents to a lawyer. You had 2 DUIs. You cleaned the park, and you did two Saturdays in jail. What's your question?
Yeah. Now, those are the 2 cases, and one more case. I had a simple assault case in 2011 itself, and that case was dismissed.
Okay.
And I did not plead guilty.
Okay.
That guy the complainant did not turn up, so the case was dismissed.
Okay.
And I had the disposition letter for all these 3 cases.
Fine. What's your problem?
The problem now is that let me tell you, I got my green card in 2008, and in 2010 I got my
What's the
10 years.
problem? Tell me the problem, and then we'll go back. backwards. What's the problem?
Now I'm eligible to become a citizen.
Right.
And if I apply, and since I don't have very good evidence that my marriage was bona fide, and with these 3 cases, will I be able to get the citizenship?
Yes, because presumably your lawyer provided all of this evidence to immigration when you removed the conditions of your permanent residence. So all of it is in your file already with immigration. And you should not be expected to 12, 14 years after the fact to come back and prove that your marriage was bona fide after immigration already has approved the case as bona fide. So I don't expect them to come back and say, you gave us a lot of documentation in 2008 or 2010, whenever you removed the conditions, we want more. Unless, of course, there's something in your file that would lead them to reopen this and investigate some sort of fraud in your marriage case. Outside of that, there would be no reason for them to ask any of that documentation. Number 2, you have 2 DUIs. DUI is not good moral character. It is not an inadmissible or deportable offense, but it is not good moral character. You have an arrest for an assault, also not inadmissible because it got dismissed, but also not good moral character. So you need 5 clean years with no issues with the law. I presume you have that. You have, sounds like 7 or 8 clean years already. So you, as far as I'm concerned, have a very straightforward naturalization case.
I had 2 speeding tickets in less than 3 years, 4 years. Is that a problem?
Unless you were driving 180 miles an hour,
No.
Then there's no law that says bad driver, you can't become a citizen.
So are you 100% sure that I can become a citizen? Please tell me, Brad.
I am 100% sure you can become a citizen.
Brad, supposing I come with you, I go with you, and then supposing something happens, I don't get citizenship, and I pay lots of money to you.
Then I was wrong.
What will happen?
Then I was wrong. But I'm pretty sure I'm right.
So are you saying, can I go for citizenship?
What I'm saying is there's no guarantees in life except death and taxes. But based on what you told me, under the law, you're entitled to become a citizen.
Okay.
I don't know what else. I could ask the Magic 8 Ball. Magic 8 Ball. Given all of these facts, will Noreen in Framingham, Massachusetts become a United States citizen? Look what Magic 8 Ball says. I'm not making it up, Yo-Yo. It says it is certain. Magic 8 Ball says it's certain. The Magic 8 Ball's never wrong.
Okay. One more last question. Since I have all these cases, do I need you to come into my court interview?
Yes, because you're a nervous wreck. You have a lot of anxiety, and having a good lawyer will keep you calm.
So will you be able to come there to the interview?
The way that the representation works now, and this is all over, is you walk into immigration and the attorney is there virtually by phone or video conference. Hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right. How's that for an answer?
That's the one you could give.
That's it. You need a lawyer? You're asking a lawyer. If you need a lawyer, then you need a lawyer. That's always my answer.
That will always be your
always
answer.
Be my answer.
You're very consistent.
Yes.
With that.
David in Manhattan. David in Manhattan.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Brett?
Good. What's going on?
So I'm going to ask a question regarding the TPS for Nepalese people.
Uh-huh.
Because I saw one of your video and I really loved it and so many people react on it. So
thank you.
As you said, the amnesty has passed for the TPS, so they can apply for the green card.
But let me tell you what happened with the TPS amnesty. The parliamentarian ruled it not a valid item that can be put in a reconciliation bill. So I don't believe, given the politics of what's going on at this moment, that there's going to be an amnesty for people who have TPS. What there may be is a change in the registry date, which is a different form of amnesty, that if you were here by a certain date, you would get it. Let's hope that happens. We'll know more in the next day or two.
Sure, thank you so much. And I have one more question for you. Since my case is in withholding, is there any other chances that I can apply for the green card?
I don't know, what your situation is in terms of, are you married to a citizen? Do you have children who are citizens? How did you come to the United States? But to reopen a removal hearing, you have a withholding of removal, you would need to be able to show that you're immediately eligible for your green card and immediately eligible to adjust your status. And that would be either because there's a law change in some form of amnesty, or you're married to a U.S. citizen, or you have a son or daughter who's over 21 who's a U.S. citizen.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck. All right, let's go to Barbara in Brooklyn. Barbara in Brooklyn.
Hello.
Hi, Barbara in Brooklyn. How are you?
Hi, good. Yourself?
Good. What's going on?
So I would like, Brad, I would like to know, my husband, he did marriage with me, but he did a fraudulent marriage because right after he got his green card, he didn't want to be with me no more. What can I do about that?
All right, so you are the U.S. citizen who's a grieved U.S. citizen, right?
Yes,
okay.
I'm a U.S. citizen.
Did he get a 2-year card or a 10-year card?
He got a 10-year card.
All right. There's not a lot you can do about it. You can certainly write a letter to immigration and tell them all the evidence that you have. Conceivably, you can try to get an annulment of your marriage. If you get an annulment of your marriage, then the marriage is void. It never happened. And if he goes to apply for his citizenship, they could say the underlying reason why you got the green card doesn't exist anymore. Going back to my first thought, you can write immigration with all your evidence that it wasn't a real marriage, and maybe they would investigate it. But usually, unfortunately, sadly, there's not a lot you can do at this point.
So what do you mean? Because I did go with him to the interview. I did prove that it was a real marriage and all.
I know. Because the way the government looks at it is this. The way the government looks at it is you proved it was a real marriage, and now your husband and you are no longer together. There's no law that says you have to stay in a happy marriage forever. Your husband's position is going to be, we were in a happy marriage, and after I got my green card, it became an unhappy marriage, and I don't want to stay in an unhappy marriage. And that happens, unfortunately.
No, but he committed to me saying that I just used you for,
Well, you would have to present that evidence to immigration and hope they investigate it. You would go and get an annulment and void the marriage out for fraud. Okay.
Such as, can you give me any examples?
You file an annulment and you make your statement that says, my husband told me he married me for a green card. It was a fraudulent marriage. And maybe, depending on how long the marriage is, will depend on, whether a judge or, thinks there was fraud or not fraud, and to try to annul the marriage. That would be the best way to get back at him, because then when he files for his citizenship, the underlying marriage doesn't exist on how he got his green card.
Right. Okay, thank you so much.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. How about the divorce? Do I file for the divorce, or I wait for him to do it?
Well, if you get a divorce, you're not getting back at him. You would do an annulment if you wanted to get back at him. A divorce means we were legally married.
First file, right? So first file for.
But I would say this, just revenge doesn't make your life better.
Right.
Okay? What would make your life better is thinking of a better future for you, and saying,
it's not like this is a revenge, I'm being used.
I understand you're hurt. I'm not saying you're not hurt, and I'm not saying he didn't do this, and I'm not saying he doesn't deserve what he deserves. But what I'm saying is and this is my armchair psychiatry. Okay, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a family. I'm a lawyer. Okay, but as an armchair psychiatrist, the more you try to say, how can I get back at him, the more hurt, the more it's pounding in your head what he did to you. So the more you can say to yourself, I'm going to forget it. I know it's there. I'm going to put it in the back of my head, and I'm going to make my life, my future better, because I only have so many days on this earth. That's the best thing you can do for your
Right.
life.
And then he also said that to me he was going to his country to go get married to someone else. So it's like if I
So good luck to him.
divorce.
Good luck to him.
Yeah. So
good luck.
If I divorce him, then I guess that's making things easier for him to bring his wife or whatever.
Well, if he got his green card through marriage to you, he can't file for a wife for 5 years anyway.
Okay.
Okay. Whether divorced
All
or
right.
not.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
I'm sorry about
Enjoy
that,
the
Barbara.
rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
I know it hurts. It hurts sometimes. Yvette in Dover, Delaware.
Hi, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
My partner recently sent some information regarding updating the case from F2 to immediate relatives.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided to call the NVC, and they told him that he has to pay the affidavit
Of support fees.
fee
Yep. Mm-hmm.
and another fee.
Right.
But the thing is that he already sent in the adjustment of status before getting that information. And also...
Whoa. Let's go back a second. Where is your husband now?
In the U.S.
Okay. You filed an adjustment for him?
He filed it for me.
He filed it for
While
you?
he was an LPR, yes.
Okay. So you filed an adjustment while you were in legal status?
I was out of status.
Okay. So if you were out of status and he filed an adjustment, your adjustment's going to be denied. Because you weren't eligible to adjust your status being out of status.
I'm sorry. He filed the I-130.
He filed just an
Only the
I-130.
I-130.
Okay. Forget the National Visa Center. The only deal with the National Visa Center if you're going home to pick up your green card. You're adjusting your status here. National Visa Center, put it out of your mind. Forget it. Don't pay them a penny. Whatever you pay them is money down the drain. Just file the adjustment with the proper fee, $1,225, with a copy of the I-130. You don't have to upgrade anything at the National Visa Center. File the adjustment, submit a copy of the I-130 that's approved that he's married to a resident, submit proof of his citizenship, and guess what? Voila, it's upgraded. Forget National Visa Center. It'll drive you crazy. You'll pay money for no reason, and whatever they write you, just put in the trash.
Because he only sent a copy of the approval notice.
Just listen to what I just told you again. I'll repeat it. Forget the National Visa Center. Don't call them. Don't write them. Whatever they write you, who cares? File the adjustment application. Submit the copy of the approval to I-130. Submit a copy of the naturalization. Voila, your adjustment's filed. Your I-130 is upgraded, and you don't have to worry about the National Visa Center. Forget it.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Good luck. Let's go to Dan in Houston. Hi, Dan.
Hello, Brad. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, Brad. Past 3 years, I followed your show.
Thank you.
People asking different questions to you.
Yes.
Now I am the immigration lawyer. I know everything.
Okay.
I know everything.
Okay.
I can sort it out my problems right now.
Great.
So, the first question is, I don't know, immigration registry maybe updated, or maybe some people are told 2010, 2011. I don't know exactly. Both lawful and unlawful persons, both the people get green card.
Wait,
right?
you're talking way too fast. What happened in 2010?
I don't know. Yeah, some people told me immigration registry updated, kind of amnesty, right?
They upgraded an amnesty in 2010. Is that your question?
No, sir. Maybe Biden planned to update.
Oh, you're talking about the registry date, moving it to 2010.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lawful and unlawful, both the people get the green card, right?
Yes. For the registry in the Plan B that we're waiting for the parliamentarian to pass, all you have to do is prove you were physically here on that date all the way through to the time you file an adjustment.
Both documented and undocumented people.
Correct.
Both.
Everybody.
Everybody. I got you. Thank you, Brad. Thank you very
All
much.
right. Okay. Good luck. Let's go to Suleiman in Louisville. Suleiman, how are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, Brad. How you doing?
Great. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be on your show, man.
Thank
You're
you.
one of the best lawyers
Thank you
ever,
very
man.
much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right now I'm in the removal condition.
You're in a what?
And,
Why am I having trouble hearing today? You're in removing your conditions, okay?
Yeah, I'm in removal condition, yes.
Okay, and what's the issue?
Do you hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
And
I'm just deaf.
And I was married to your sister. We get divorced.
Okay.
And I just that's why I'm in the removal condition. But after that, I marry. After that, I marry one woman called my wife in the way of Islam first. We got problem.
You are removing the conditions based on a bona fide marriage that terminated in divorce.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten a decision on that case, and you remarried, and you married a new woman in the Islamic religion. That's fine.
In Islamic religion.
That's fine. You have to prove the first marriage was bona fide, regardless of whether you marry somebody else or not.
Okay. In the Islam, and I got problem with my wife. I'm married in Islam. We got problem in domestic violence. About that. I never heard her. I never did nothing. But women. And after that,
were you arrested, Suleiman?
I was arrested for 1 day.
And what happened with the case?
My brother paid $5,000. $5,000 for
bail,
I get out
right?
for 1 day.
All right. So did you go to court? Is the case ongoing?
Yeah. I went to court.
And what happened with the case?
When I went to court, my lawyer said to me, "You know what? Just take a misdemeanor." He said, "Take a misdemeanor. You gotta take a big guilty." And he called my lawyer, and my lawyer told him he can plead guilty on this, So I pled guilty, a misdemeanor. I was taking classes. I took like a 3-month class. Every class I was paying $20 like that. Yeah, and after 1 month, they separated me and my wife for 2 months, 3 months. When I pled guilty, my wife was pregnant. That's why I pled guilty, because I want to be with my baby and my wife.
All right. What is your question?
My question is, me and my wife are married right now. My wife is a green card holder. We are married, and we got a kid. I was asking if when I pled guilty, it's going to cause me trouble on my.
Well, I don't know what you pled guilty to. It was just a misdemeanor. Was it a domestic?
Misdemeanor, yeah,
I understand that. This was in Kentucky. I don't know. I don't know the penal code in Kentucky. I'll be honest with you. If you pled guilty to a domestic violence, it could be a problem. I think it could be. I'm not saying it is, or I'm not saying it isn't. I don't know the penal code. I would need to see the exact disposition of what you pled guilty to. It's beyond what I can do on a show for you. You would need to have a consultation with me. I would need to see the disposition. I have no idea. So hold on one second. Hold on. You need a well, if you trust your lawyer, then he said it's okay. Then it's okay. But I don't know. I don't know the penal code. I don't know the penal code. So hold on. So you need to speak to me privately. Let's go to Hannah in Dallas, Texas. Hannah.
Hi.
Hi, Hannah.
I had a question regarding my mother. My mother came in about 4.5 months ago, and her I-94 is going to expire in 2 months when it hits the 6-month mark. And she came from my graduation. That was the initial reason. But there's a war in the northern part of our country, a civil war, ethnic cleansing against our people. And I was wondering if we can just file an I-539 to extend her visits with this reason. She doesn't want to apply for asylum. She wants to go back. Her mother is there.
What is your status, Hannah?
I was on OPT and I'm transitioning to H-1B.
Okay. Yeah, you can file for an extension on her tourist visa. I wouldn't necessarily say. I mean, you could say whatever you want, but you would have to say you have the intent of going home. You would have to prove you have the intent of going home, and saying I'm staying here because my country is violent isn't necessarily.
No, this is not for me.
I understand that.
This was for my.
I understand that for your mom. The other thing is this. Yeah. She should know that she only has 1 year in which to file for asylum.
Yeah, she really doesn't want to do that. Okay. We've tried to convince her,
so then
but
extend their tourist visa and then see what happens.
Is this a valid reason? Is this something they will accept?
No. Because when you say, I don't want to go home to my home country because it's violent there, that doesn't show you have a non-immigrant intent to leave.
No, as in, there's currently government sanctions that's being put on the Western world. On the prime minister, the government might crumble anytime.
But that's very uncertain. When the government crumbles, she's not leaving. So that's none of those. I understand that, but the government, U.S. government,
they won't know that.
They won't know that. So I don't think that's a good excuse.
That.
That's not a good excuse to stay longer.
Okay.
All right.
So you would say would be a better option.
I would come up with a better reason to stay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Let's go to Sam in Daytona, Florida. Sam.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm good. I'm calling on behalf of my friend. She's going through a lot right now. So what is happening is she has been married since 2018, and she got her green card 2019, and she recently adjusted her status to remove the condition.
Okay.
And after that, a couple months down, the husband had moved out, leave her, and she just recently found out that when he gave her an STD, that's when he got a child outside the marriage.
All right. So this marriage broke down. There's no law that says you have to stay in an unhappy marriage to remove the conditions of your permanent residence. The guy's a cheater. I would start a divorce immediately, convert the joint petition to a waiver of the joint petition based on a divorce, and complete the case on your own. The best way to think about this is this. When you go to remove the conditions of your permanent residence, there's 3 ways in which to remove the conditions. You can file. She's filed the application, but she hasn't completed it yet. So I understand. There's 3 ways in which you can do it. You can file a joint application with your husband, which is what she did. And when she goes on her interview to remove the conditions of her permanent residence, you prove me and my husband are in a bona fide marriage today. The fact is, they're no longer in a bona fide marriage. He cheated on her. Sounds like they're going to go separate ways. She got an STT, whatever she got, and problems in the marriage. And who knows if he would even show up to an interview. And if he shows up, they're not even living together anymore. So it's all problems. The other option would be to convert the case to either an abuse case or a divorce case. Either way, if you convert it to an abuse case or a divorce case, you don't have to prove you're living with your spouse today. You have to prove you were living with your spouse in the past. It was a bona fide marriage in the past, not bona fide anymore. And either prove abuse or prove divorce. Divorce is so much easier to prove than abuse, even though she did get a sexually transmitted disease. That could be part of the abuse, for sure, depending on what he gave her and how intentional it was.
Right. So how would she go about doing that, being that she already submitted all her paperwork?
You would start a divorce, and then you would write a letter to immigration with a copy of the receipt notice and say, please convert my case to a waiver based on a pending divorce. But maybe she would need a lawyer. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's go to Ola in Dallas, Texas.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I really want to say a very big thank you to you. I really appreciate you and everything that you're doing, and the crew as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
What can I do to help?
My question is this, right? I got married last year to a U.S. citizen, and I'm going through a divorce right now. I was being abused, and I had to file for VAWA. So I got a prima facie, and I'm currently having a work permit right now. And I'm about to get married again, right?
Don't.
Do I?
Don't.
Sorry?
Don't. If you get married before your VAWA case is approved, that automatically terminates your VAWA.
Well, I think my fiance really wants us. I really want to get married again, and even though it terminates the vow, I think I'll be okay with that because I really want to be with her again.
So then she'll file a petition for you, an adjustment. For you.
Oh, okay. But my question is this, right? If it terminates the vow, will the work authorization that I have still be valid?
No, you would have to file a new adjustment application.
And the current work authorization, that means I have to file another work authorization.
You have to file a brand new adjustment application. You have to withdraw the VAWA because they don't know that you got married at that second. So you withdraw the VAWA, file a new adjustment with a new work permit application.
Okay. So even though I have I wanted the advance file on my stuff, I cannot travel with it after
Correct.
I get married.
Correct.
Okay.
By the way, I'm sure you're in love.
Right.
Okay, but I think it's a huge mistake to get married because what happens if this marriage doesn't work out? Now you're really in a whole heap of trouble. You don't have to rely on anybody to sponsor you by doing the VAWA. Just my opinion.
Okay.
So think about it.
So
you could live together. You don't have a piece of paper. Still married. It's it's a difference. You don't have a piece of paper yet.
Okay. All right.
I'm just giving you my thought. Okay. What's your last question?
My last question is I have for a friend is this, right? She applied for asylum a year ago, and she want to apply for a work authorization. So she's asking what document does she have to apply, add to apply for the work authorization.
Her receipt notice for the asylum, an I-765, and put down C8.
And what's the last one, please?
An I-765 form, put down section C8, and attach a copy of her asylum receipt.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Really
good luck.
appreciate it.
Okay.
All
right. Andy in San Jose, California. Andy, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, Brad. So I got married in India a long time ago, but the marriage was never registered and we never even lived together. So we lived together for like 2 weeks.
You got married, I guess, in a religious ceremony, but it was never filed civilly. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Right, okay.
It was a religious ceremony, but it was never officially registered.
So it's not a legal marriage for immigration purposes then.
It's not legal?
No, because you have to have a civil marriage certificate for it to be legal. If there's no civil marriage and it was just a religious ceremony and it's not recognized by the Indian government, then there's no marriage.
Okay. So the thing is, when I came here to US in the DS-160 form, I have filed that I got married. I put in the marriage date, my spouse, and later on when I came here, within a year, I filed for asylum. And even in that application, I have mentioned that I was married.
All right, so you need the marriage certificates and the religious documents to show that there was a marriage. You need to go through vital statistics in India, however you do it, to prove that there is no marriage filed civilly, and explain yourself.
Okay,
and I hope they don't say that you committed fraud.
Okay, so the thing is I mean the marriage is we are not even talking to each other, so I want to get married here. So can I do that?
Yes, but you have to prove you do not have an impediment to marriage in India.
And what does that mean?
That means there is a search of government records that has to be done in India to show that there is no marriage on file. And then you would have to also show that you didn't make a misrepresentation. There was a religious ceremony. Here's this evidence.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, sure.
Hold on. You need help of a lawyer. Let's go to OJ in San Antonio, Texas. OJ. The juice. It's not the same OJ, of course not. I don't know what happened to Vanessa there. All right, he's drinking some juice maybe. All right, let's go to Ilyas in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, Brad, thanks for taking my call.
How are you?
Very good. So let's say if the parliamentarian she rules in favor of the 245I, I know there's something to do with the employment, and how would that work for me? I'm a business owner. Would I be able to apply for myself, kind of?
No, you can't sponsor yourself in a job. Perhaps if you invested $1 million in a business and have 10 employees, maybe, or whatever the investment number is, 1.2 million now, whatever it is. But you can't self-sponsor yourself in a job. No.
Right. So every business owner in the same situation, they
would have to hope for the registry.
company?
They would have to hope for the registry. If you're a business owner, you would have to hope for the registry, unless you invested millions of dollars.
Yeah, but the business. I need an employer to do that for me.
Yes, the reason you can't sponsor yourself in a job is when you do a job sponsorship, you have to prove that you're not taking a job away from an American worker. And if you're doing your own job sponsorship, you're never going to hire someone else and fire yourself. So you can't do it. So in your particular case, either the registry passes and you can take advantage of the registry, or your spouse can take advantage of the registry and then sponsor you later, or you sell your business and work as an employee for someone who sponsors you.
Gotcha. All right.
All right.
So that's all I need to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's go to Yolanda. Let's go to Yolanda in Newark. Yolanda.
Hi. Good morning. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. I would like to inquire because a question. I was petitioned by my brother here in New Jersey. So I'm wondering, under 245, it was approved, and then I just got my residency.
Great.
Together with my family. But
congratulations.
My daughter was not able to.
She aged out.
Yeah, she aged out.
Where is she
so
now?
What will I do now?
Is she in the Philippines?
She's here in the United States.
You're from the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what
how old is she?
22.
She's 22 years old?
Yeah.
How did she age out if she was 22 and your brother filed for you? That petition, she's probably under the Child Status Protection Act.
Yeah, she is. But
okay, so you need to come see me with the approval notices, and we should file an application for her under the Child Status Protection Act very quickly.
Very quick.
Okay,
I think she turns 23 by.
She's probably still under the Child Status Protection Act. Come see me. Hold on. Okay. All right. Let's go back to OJ. OJ.
Hello, Brad. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I got a question, please. If you're an applicant, if you have a pending asylum, can you get a parole to travel outside America?
No.
Okay.
If you have your asylum approved, you can get a refugee travel document and return, but not with a pending asylum.
Okay. Another one is on the registry. Is it 2010?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration question asked and answered, you can always follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You follow me on Instagram at @RealBradBernstein. You can drop me a direct message, and I'll try to answer your immigration question as best as I can. You can also follow us at Brad Show Live on Instagram. As I say every day, if you can't handle 2 hours, but you can handle 2 seconds or 30 seconds of Brad Show Live, catch the best snippets of Brad Show Live on Instagram. You can also follow us on our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok. You follow us on TikTok, you may ask a question of me in the comments or in the question and answer section, and you may very well get a personalized video answer in TikTok. And of course, also follow us on OnlyFans for all of our Braducations. And Jonathan and Vanessa, what do you guys got?
Yes, you can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
And later in the show, squad member Tameka Hewitt a.k.a. Starr-Girl Meeka, and show crew member Lee Manor will compete in the, what is it, the Bradlympics?
Bradlympics.
Is that what it was, Vanessa?
Oh, yeah.
The Bradlympics. The Bradlympics. Who invented it? American-born immigrant. And right now, the squad is winning 7-5 in the Bradlympics. Looks like the squad's going to win gold.
Right.
Let's see if Lee can squeak one out for the crew. But in the meantime, Yo-Yo.
Yes, and now this is our new segment like we showed you a couple of days ago, our TikTok segment. This is our fastest growing social media platform. You guys don't want to miss this segment because it's super fun, but what's even better is if you go to TikTok at Brad Show Live and follow us on there, because like Brad said, he answers questions from the comments. Nobody else does that, all right? So here's our segment, TikTok time.
If a U.S. citizen stays out of the U.S. for 2 years or 10 years, they're still a U.S. citizen. And if they give birth to a child abroad outside of the United States, most likely that child's a U.S. citizen. You just go and apply for a U.S. passport. It depends what you're delivering, what is whether or not you would be essential or not. If you're delivering food, for example, you're essential. If you're delivering supplies for tennis court repair, it's not essential. No, flying over Canada is not leaving the U.S. If you board an airplane at a domestic U.S. airport and you land, your next place you land is at a domestic U.S. airport, you have never left the United States of America. Good luck on your trip to Alaska. If a green card holder marries a non-immigrant in legal status in the United States, that non-immigrant can apply for adjustment of status immediately. In most states, it's 1 year or less for a green card. And by the way, if you don't have TikTok, it's very easy to download.
It is very easy.
Right?
And worth it.
And worth it. All right. Social media check-in.
First question, Sasha Eva Blessed, Laid Law, Brad Squad VIP member. My dad has been in the U.S. for over 10 years, but he was a green card holder when he submitted my papers for my I-130 in September 2016. I'm over 21. He became a citizen last January, and he updated the papers concerning him becoming a citizen. He hasn't received any response. He called them last October, and they said the documents are at the NVC in processing. What can I do next, or what actions can I take?
There's nothing you can do. You got to wait for the priority date to become current, and there's a huge backlog in many of the embassies. So unfortunately, you're probably at least 12, closer to 24 months away.
Rosemary Barnes on YouTube. Is it true that there will be no more visas issued until 2022 for immigrants and non-immigrants?
Hashtag untrue.
29 Super C on YouTube. Can the Biden administration pass the budget reconciliation bill and bypass the Senate parliamentarian with the VP as a casting vote to make it a 51 vote?
Yes, you can put any immigration bill into the reconciliation regardless of the parliamentarian. They could overrule the parliamentarian. They could fire the parliamentarian and bring a new parliamentarian, but that would lead to a lot of political pressure on them, and they feel that if they do that, they would set themselves up to lose in the midterm election. So they want the parliamentarian to approve the immigration laws that they're going to put into the reconciliation.
Oliver Felipe on YouTube. My father has been married to a citizen since 2017. In the past, he's had 2 interviews. In 2019, they transferred his case to the California Center. Since then, we have not heard anything from them. What can we do?
Threaten a mandamus or file a mandamus.
Prime Citizen on YouTube. Will those granted withholding of removal be eligible to adjust status from the registry date amendment?
We'll find out soon enough.
Elias Santari on YouTube. If 245I passes, will I be able to apply as self-employed? I own an LLC painting company.
Unfortunately, you can't self-petition yourself in a job.
Salam Abai on YouTube. My husband is a U.S. citizen. He filed for his daughter for an I-485. She's 5 years old. USCIS sent a letter stating she is missing the I-693. Does a 5-year-old need the Form 693 filed with the I-485?
No, you don't.
Zamir Mir on YouTube. I applied for naturalization in August of 2020, but I'm still waiting for the interview. When can I expect it?
I hope so.
Devon Murphy on YouTube. When someone is doing a fiance visa, is it a DS-160 or a DS-260 form that needs to be done?
The fiance visa is an I-129 form.
So neither? So what's a DS-160 and DS-260?
I think
Why would they think?
I guess that's for the immigrant visas at the National Visa Center, but it starts with the I-129.
Kevin Sippian on YouTube. I was deported 5 years ago. I was ordered to be deported for graffiti. Is there any way I can go back? Can I apply for re-entry after living 14 years in New York?
You were deported for graffiti? I never heard of that before. Maybe you were deported for being undocumented, but not graffiti. That's very odd. I would need to speak to you more and find out more about what happened.
And last one, Mohammed Izmir on YouTube. My sister-brother relation petition was filed in September 2008. I'm from India. It's an F4 category right now, and the cutoff date is January 2006. Can I do a change of status here in the U.S. without leaving the country, and can I get a waiver for that also?
You can adjust your status once the priority date's current, but not before that. All right, so today we have a new squad versus crew, or as we like to call it now, a new Bradlympics. Match between squad member Tameka Hewitt, aka Starr-Girl Meeka, and crew member Lee Manor in a contest called Who Invented It, American Born or Immigrant? Right now in the Bradlympics, the score is squad 7, crew 5 with 1 tie. Let's see how Starr-Girl Meeka and Lee do as they match wits. The pressure is on. Let's play along in the comments.
Hey Brad Squad, Vanessa Contreras here. We are back in another game of Squatty versus Crew. And it's a rematch between Brad Show Live top fan Tameka Hewitt, aka Starr-Girl Meeka, and show team member Lee Manor. It's Meeka versus Manor in the Battle of the M's, going head to head today in a game of Who Invented It? American Born or Immigrant? So each of you has your dry erase boards and a marker. After I read the question, you both get to write down your answers. Then when I count to 3, you'll hold up your boards and show us your answers. And everyone watching, you should be home playing along as well. So good luck to both you guys. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. Was the inventor of the hamburger American born or an immigrant? A will be for American born and B will be for immigrant. Let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1. Ah, excellent. The inventor of the yummy hamburger was an immigrant. People all agree the name derives from the city of Hamburg in Germany, and hamburgers arrived in America via German immigrants. However, the Library of Congress credits the Danish immigrant Louis Layson of Louis Lunch, a small lunch wagon in New Haven, Connecticut, with selling the first hamburger and steak sandwiches in the U.S. in 1895. I love me a good hamburger.
Me too.
Okay, next one. Was the inventor of bubble gum American born or an immigrant? Again, A for American born, B for immigrants. Let's see what your answers are looking like in 3, 2, 1. Ah, you both guessed it right.
All right. Okay.
Bubble gum was invented in 1928 by Walter Demir, who was born and raised in Philadelphia. He was working at a chewing gum factory as an accountant, and he started to experiment with gum recipes. He created a formula that made the chewing gum more stretchy and less sticky so that it was able to blow bubbles. Demir used the pink dye for his new gum because pink was the only color available at the Fleer Chewing Gum Company. Pink still remains the industry's standard for bubblegum today. So good job. Now, was the inventor of the song God Bless America American born or an immigrant? A for American born, B for immigrant. Let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1. Oh, you guys are on a roll with this one. You're making it really tough this round. Yes, God Bless America was written by an immigrant named Irving Berlin. Berlin was born in the Jewish village of Tyumen in a harsh region of Russia known as Siberia. He immigrated to America when he was 5, and after an anti-Jewish mob destroyed his family's home, growing up in New York, Berlin began to write and compose his own songs. In 1918, after joining the U.S. Army during the First World War, he wrote God Bless America, which was later revised as a peace song in 1938 during the rise of Adolf Hitler and right before the beginning of World War II. The song is considered to be one of the greatest songs in the world, and it's all thanks to an immigrant. So, many of us are familiar with a Fitbit. Was the Fitbit invented? Was it American born or was it an immigrant? Who decided to start counting steps? So let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow.
So the Fitbit was created by an American born. So the Fitbit was founded in early 2007 by James Park and Eric Friedman, who saw the potential for using a wireless enabled device equipped with an internal motion detector to track movements, sleep, and calorie burn for the wearer during the day and night. Now, fun fact, in 2010, Fitbit made roughly $5 million in 3 years in business, but with the help of investors and advertisement, in 2020, Fitbit generated $1.1 billion in sales. Okay, next one of my favorites, Sour Patch Kids. Were they invented by a Sour Patch Kid that was American born or an immigrant? First they're sour, then they're sweet. Okay, let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1. You guys are so funny. Okay, so Sour Patches were invented by an immigrant. Oh, God. Yes.
I feel like it's like the God bless America, kind of question, because Sour Patch Kid is like American, but
Right, but it might be a trick question. So, Sour Patch Kids were invented by Frank Galatoli in the late 1970s in Ontario, Canada. Galatoli later immigrated to the US, but sadly passed away on October 22nd, 2016 in Charleston, South Carolina. However, he leaves his legacy of the popular candy behind. Fun fact, Sour Patch Kids were originally shaped as Martians on the spaceship Enthusiasm in the 1970s and eventually transformed into children in the 1980s to capitalize on the Cabbage Patch Kids craze. The candies were first introduced in the US markets in 1985 and ultimately became a huge success worldwide. There's now a Sour Patch Kids Day celebrated on July 25th. Squatties crew, on to the next one. Was the inventor of the online shopping venue, eBay, American born or an immigrant? eBay, American born or immigrant? Okay, let's see what you guys have written down in 3, 2, 1. Oh man. Okay, so eBay was invented by an immigrant. So Lee, you got that one. eBay was founded by Pierre Omillard, who is an immigrant from France. Omiyar came to America as a child, and in 1995, he created a prototype of an online venue to enable the listing of a direct person-to-person auction for collectionable items. That prototype was then launched as Auction Web, which later turned into eBay. And according to Forbes, Omiyar is considered the 24th richest person in the world with an astonishing net worth of $21.8 billion. So,
give me an easy one.
So here we go, serving you guys some lunch, maybe dinner. Was the inventor of Kraft mac and cheese American born or an immigrant? A for American born and B for immigrants. Okay, let's see those answers in 3, 2, 1. You would think they were actually an immigrant. So before we got our favorite mac and cheese brand, JL Kraft, came to the US from Canada in the early 1900s and started off selling cheese in Canada. In 1916, he started a processing cheese business, and in 1937, he sold dried mac and cheese boxes during the times of the Great Depression and World War II, which became a huge success. And today, Kraft has continued to bring us their delicious mac and cheese products from the box to the microwave, and even how we've heard on Wacky World News, to ice cream. But moving on. Was the inventor of the helicopter American born or an immigrant? A is for American born and B is for immigrant. Okie doke, let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, Starr-Girl. Yes. Go ahead, you're back in the running. They are indeed an immigrant. The helicopter was designed by Russian immigrant Igor Ivanovich Sikorsky after immigrating to the United States in 1919. Sikorsky founded the Sikorsky Aircraft Corporation in 1923 and developed the first of Pan American Airways ocean crossing flying boats in the 1930s. On September 14th, 1939, the VS-300, the world's first practical helicopter, took flight at Stratford, Connecticut, piloted by Sikorsky himself. The helicopter was the first to incorporate a single main rotor and tail rotor design. So here we go, double or nothing. We have Battles of the M. We have Lee Manor at 6 points right now. Starr-Girl, you're at 4. No pressure. Let's get into it. Was the inventor of potato chips American born or an immigrant? A for American born, B for immigrant. Do you have your answers? Let's see them in 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God.
Okay, so they are American born. The inventor of potato chips is George Speck, also known as George Crumb, was born on July 15th, 1824 in Saratoga County, New York, to African and Native American ancestors. Crumb works as a chef with his sister Catherine. The invention of potato chips began when a patron who ordered a plate of French fried potatoes sent them back to George Crumb's kitchen because he felt they were too thick and soft. To teach the picky patron a lesson, Crumb sliced a new batch of potatoes as thin as he could and then fried them until they were hard and crunchy. The patron then ate the crunchy potatoes and gave Crumb his seal of approval. In 1860, Crumb opened his own restaurant featuring potato chips in a basket placed on every table, and the delicious snack was eventually mass-produced all over the world. Okay, so our final score for this round, Lee Manor up with 8 points, Starr-Girl Meeka at 4. This was a great game. Another rematch between Meeka and Manor is coming soon. But in the meantime, anyone from the squad that wants to join a game of squad versus crew, just DM the show and we'll set it up. Thanks, guys. This was fun. Bye.
So the scores now in the Brad Olympics. Squad 7, crew 6, 1 tie. Squad is still winning.
Oh, look at her.
But if you want to reach out to us, if you'd like to be part of our Brad Olympics, which is our squad versus crew segment, we can set it up. Just drop us a DM. And one extra bonus for participating in the Brad Olympics squad versus crew. Everyone who participates gets a Brad Show Live cup.
I love it.
Courtesy of Brad Show Live.
Love it.
People love their Brad Show Live cup. You can get one of these, right?
Yes.
And of course, by the way, Vanessa, if you were curious, it is now Yo-Yo 10, Uncle Brad nothing. Okay, he keeps beating me in these things. We were tied. We were tied until the potato chip, and I said potato chip was Immigrant, and Yo-Yo knew it was a black man from the 1800s. He knew his black history, so he beat me on that one. All right, let's go. Let's go to 9 questions in 50 seconds. All right, you ready? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Can a citizen apply for his disabled sister?
Of course.
Does time outside the U.S. count towards 5 years of permanent residency?
Yes, as long as it's for citizenship. Yes, as long as it's no trip more than 6 months.
Can I do a medical exam before my green card interview?
Of course you should.
Can I travel outside the U.S. and return on a K-1 with pending AOS?
No, you can travel on advanced parole, but not a K-1.
Can I expedite an asylum case that I've been waiting for on 5 years?
Mandamus.
Can a green card holder apply for his foreign wife?
Of course.
Can I sponsor more than 2 people on a humanitarian parole?
The humanitarian parole is self-sponsored.
If my citizenship interview is canceled, how long will it take to reschedule?
I have no idea.
Can my U.S. citizen grandmother file for me and my siblings?
Grandmothers cannot file for siblings.
Woo.
Or their grandchildren.
We got that.
Yes! Julian says yes!
Yes, we got
Julian says yes, even though he blew the hell out of us.
Not yet.
Even though he blew us up, he took it back. Julian says yes. He is the arbiter. Julian's like the parliamentarian of Bradshaw Live.
Yes.
Whatever, he makes all the rules. He decides. He says we won, we won.
Listen, no questions asked.
That's right. All right. Comments of the day, guys. Comments of the day.
Scared me there for a second.
Yes.
All right, y'all. Our first comment of the day. Bobby Young saying the best immigration platform to follow your American dream, Brad Show.
All right. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. I was missing this one today. This one comes from Jeremy Goldberg, Poetry Thursday, saying, "Oh, it's the shame of humanity to not grant immigrants amnesty. Do we need a new strategy, or is this a test of our morality? Call Brad Bernstein for his legality."
Wow! I'm gonna tell you something. Bravo.
That's is this why it took so long?
Bravo.
That was worth the wait.
It was worth the wait. That Jay Rhymes, I mean, talking about William Shakespeare, okay?
Of our time.
He is the William Shakespeare of our times. Yeah, I think he could be. All right, what else we got?
All right, Ezekiel. That's my dad's name, Ezekiel Nguyo, saying, "We salute you, sir, and your team. Thank you for standing in the gap of many families that need help. God bless."
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
I appreciate that. All right, what else we got, Vanessa?
Our very last Joan Ambitious Pile saying, "If you want a good laugh, information, and immigration news and views after a long, hard day, join Brad Show Live."
That's right. I
Yes.
can't say it better than that.
Yes.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. There will be no pop-up tomorrow. Monday's my birthday. We'll be back Tuesday, September 28th. Have a great 4 days. See you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Starr and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Starr and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Starr and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK. 1-800-529-5465.